Mic Drop Moments is sponsored by Grow Radio. Want to launch your own podcast? Grow Radio are here to help. Grow Radio has launched and supported countless podcasts, and they'd love to do the same for you. Just hit record and they'll handle the rest. No editing stress, no technical faff, just a great podcast released when you want. Need a little extra support? Grow Radio's workshops and courses make getting started easy. Let's bring your podcast to life. Message Grow Radio on social media or reach out to Gary Jones, the founder of Grow Radio. Let's make this happen. Welcome to Mic Drop Moments, and today I'm chatting with Vicki Wilson, Vicki, the admin fairy. Hi Vicki, how are you today?
Hiya, I'm fine today, you?
Yeah, really good, thank you. I've been really looking forward to our chat, and for those watching us, we're in matching yellow today.
Oh yeah.
Anyway,
that wasn't planned. That was not planned.
Definitely not planned. Can you tell us a little bit about who you are and what you do?
Yeah, I'm Vicki, the admin fairy. I'm from Shropshire. I've been doing this assistant business now for around 4 years. I was in the HMRC for around 20 years.
Wow.
And then it's been coming up for many years. But during COVID, they made me redundant. The best thing ever.
How dare they?
The best thing ever.
You escaped HMRC.
I did. Because I knew if they hadn't made me redundant, I would have still been there now. Because it was my comfort zone. I had regular income. Okay, I didn't enjoy being there. But it was a safe comfort zone, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And then they decided to make the office redundant and move us all to Liverpool. Which from Liverpool to where I live is a 2-hour journey at the most. Well, add that on to 8-hour day working, it's not viable.
No.
So I took my money and I set off with the admin fairy.
Now that must be, a lot of people have told me that they've either been made redundant, lost their jobs, left their jobs during the pandemic, and so many people have started their own business. But I really admire everyone that's done that, because that was probably the hardest time to start a business during the pandemic.
Yeah.
You couldn't go out anywhere. You were literally had to do everything online. So, what was that daunting?
It was. But me being me, I love a challenge.
I know you do.
I'm not one to just sit down and watch telly and make couch potato. Even in the evenings, I'm doing something.
Yeah.
TV will be on, but I'm still doing sewing or anything. And my husband was a bookkeeper, so I was helping him when I left the revenue. Well, before then as well. And his clients knew me and they were coming to me and saying, "Oh, why are you here? Can you help me with my admin?" And I thought, I've got a business here. So after that 6 months of helping Steve, I'm going on my own.
Good for you.
I'm going to do it myself. He went, "Yeah, okay, go for it." So some of the clients I have with Steve, they stayed with me and grew. And then word of mouth. And it was just good. But also going back to what you were saying about daunting in COVID, that was the ideal time in a way. The small businesses were stressed. And they had to work harder on their actual business. And the admin side of it was piling up. And they didn't want to do the admin.
Yes, so that's perfect for you then.
Yeah, that made the ideal opportunity for me to say, well, you want to forget your admin? Give it to me. I know your emails are piling up. Let me go in there and just get rid of all the junk. and make it more manageable for you. And that way their stress was going down. They can grow their business. And it just helps.
Yeah. And I know that your husband is especially supportive of you. I've met your husband at the Fightis SBS annual event. And, you know, you are disabled. And how much do you think has that helped you or hindered you?
Oh, big way. Big way.
Yeah.
As you know me, I'm not a normal disabled person. Even in hospitals, and the consultants have said, Vic, you are not a normal disabled person. Everything that you should be doing, you shouldn't be able to do. And everything that you can't do, you should be able to do.
So tell us a little bit about your disability. Tell us a little bit about that.
I have cerebral palsy, and that affects me physically. Mentally, I'm fine, but physically, I can't walk. I use a wheelchair to go out. My walking is improving slowly. I've had limited mobility. When I was 12, I had a big operation on my legs to straighten them and make walking easier. But when you're 12, it's hard.
Yeah.
I had the surgery that involved, I think it was a month lying on my back while the muscles healed, and then cutting them and doing whatever they had to do. So during that time, lying flat on your back, I grew. So when I stood up out of bed, all my clothes were too short. my center of gravity had gone. I thought, oh dear, if I fall now, it's further to go. So that confidence had gone. I had to rebuild that and make it more. But then when you have cerebral palsy and possibly other physical disabilities from a child, when you hit 16, you're gone. You don't exist on the NHS. Unless you've got ongoing conditions that need to be regularly seen, they discharge you. So from the age of 16, I was on my own. Luckily, my mum and dad are really pushing and they were really helping me get what I can. So I went to the gym, practiced my physio, got private treatments, really good. But then it was a struggle. I felt like my spine was curving more. So I saw the consultant. He said, well, I've known you all your life, Vic. I know I can tell you how it is. He said, but I'll be honest, I don't want to do the operation that I can do. It involved fusing the vertebrae in my spine, once going through the back, leaving it 3 weeks to heal, and then going through the front, through my ribs, and doing the same again.
Wow.
Now, you know when your parents or husband, whatever, are with you in the consulting room, and you can feel them saying to you, say no. And I said to him, what benefit am I going to have from this radical surgery? Because it is brutal. He went, I'll be honest, you have a lovely streak back on the x-ray. I went, and? He went, that'll be it. He said, because the recovery will be hard. I said, okay, what benefit will it have on the walking? And worst case scenario, will I die? Will it kill me? He said, I'll be honest with you, it's 50-50. Because you're small, I would say yes. you could die on the table. I went, forget it, I'm going home. So I went home, did more gym work, discovered a bone therapist who massages the muscles and moves them all around. He was amazing. And then, because of him, my spine straightened.
Wow.
It was just amazing. He was just manipulating the muscles an hour a fortnight, and I could feel the muscles just moving. It was scary at first. And then within 6 months, a quarter of the curve had gone.
Yeah.
Because the reason why my spine was curving was because of all the muscles pulling it one way or the other. So thankfully, I found my therapist and didn't have the surgery.
Oh, that's brilliant. And I think, Vicki, from talking to you, from what I know about you and having met you in person finally at that event, you are a very determined lady.
Yeah,
When you set your sights on something that you want,
yeah.
go for it.
So it's like when that doctor said, I can't help you, I found another alternative.
Yeah.
I'm thinking that's not the end. People could have just thought, okay, never going to walk again. Even though my walking wasn't much anyway, I thought, no, you're not going to tell me I'm wrong. I'm going to prove you wrong. I'm going to do it.
And you have proved them wrong.
I have. I'm talking to my mum and dad, and they said, you've done that through all your life. If anyone says to you, we can't do that, really? I'll show you.
Yeah. And that's
I
a
just done
really
it
good
all
attitude.
the way.
Yeah.
And that's what's got me in my business.
Yeah. And I can see that from you, and disability or no disability. I mean, there's people with hidden disabilities that you can't see. But there's so many people that will just give up and say, you're told by the doctors, well, you can't do that, you can't have that, you'll never achieve that. And I've met so many disabled entrepreneurs that actually defy what the doctors say through sheer determination to prove them wrong and say, I'll show you. And I think you've got a sense of that within you.
Yeah, you have to.
Yeah.
Because if I had just rolled over and said, yeah, okay, whatever.
Yeah.
And a more recent example of that, this is hilarious. Well, at the time it wasn't funny. But looking back, 8 years down the line, best thing that could have happened to me. I highly recommend you have your husband or partner carry you to your parents' front door and drop you on the floor
Oh no.
and break your hip.
Oh, I'm surprised you're still speaking to him.
It was April morning, drizzly. Now he stood me up, lifted me under my arms. He was behind me. Now you've seen Steve, haven't you? He's
Yeah.
bigger than me.
Yeah.
He was standing behind me. Like, I'm gonna fall. I'm thinking, what do you want me to do? My father was too far away to grab me. And Steve managed to turn, so we landed on our sides.
Yeah.
Luckily, I had a big thick hoodie on and a coat, but just been jogging bottoms on my trousers. So I landed on the side of my hip. Oh, agony. Pain like never before. Steve carried me into my mum and dad's. The air was blue. And eventually, after 9 hours, I got into the hospital. And this junior doctor at, it must have been 10, 11 o'clock at night, after loads of x-rays, pulling me around, came to me and said, well, we have to tell you, you've broken your hip. Yeah, I could have told you that. I said, so what can you do? He said, well, there's more than 4 options. Okay, not many. He said, but really, there's only 2 options that I'd recommend. Okay, what are they? He said, well, the 2 that I wouldn't recommend is a new hip or half a new hip. Because A, you're too small and you're too young. You have to have a new one every 10 years. And I was 46, I think. No, 43. And I said, okay, what are the options? He said, well, we can have you in theatre and put 2 screws in the brake and fix it. Because I sheared the ball of the femur. So the femur ball was floating in the socket. So we said, we can screw it together, or we can reset the leg and let it heal on its own. So my dad was there and Steve was there. They didn't get a word in. I said, what do you recommend? You know, Dr. Ian. Oh, I recommend we have you in theatre, reset the leg, and let it heal on its own. I went, really? I said, what's the recovery time on that? Oh, 4 to 6 months. I went, lying in bed. I said, I've got limited mobility now. I need help to get dressed up and down. That's going to have a major effect on me. What muscle mass I have now, I will lose. Everything will be gone. Oh, well, you know, I recommend that one. I said, I tell you what, it's nearly 11 o'clock at night. I'm in agony. I'm tired. You leave me alone. Go away. Come back in the morning with somebody who is more senior than you and clearly knows more about orthopedics than you do. Because clearly you haven't got a clue. And my dad and Steve were there, mouths wide open. What has she just said? And the following morning, a consultant came, and she was one of these very matter of fact, which that's what I like. There's no faffing around. She's nice. She said, right, I'm going to have you in theatre, 11 a.m. this morning, and I'm going to screw you back together. And this junior doctor was standing on the side. I turned to him and said, see, you can learn a lot from her if you just listen to the other alternatives. You get a better answer. So she screwed me together. All worked. I was in hospital for 3 weeks because I wouldn't let me go within a few days. And the physio agreed with me. You've got to be stronger. Yeah, if you can't hold yourself up, Steve might hurt his back holding me. So it's better to keep me in for longer rather than just let me go. So this junior doctor saw me on the ward about 2 weeks later, and he came over to me and he smiled and he said, I want to have a word with you. I said, okay, I'm not apologizing. He said, no, I want to thank you. I went, okay. He said, because you've taught me a valuable lesson. Listen to the patient. don't just see what's wrong with you and your disability. Look beyond it. I
Yeah.
said, well, yeah, I have cerebral palsy. Yeah, I'm use a wheelchair. But I can do much more than that. If I had have taken your word for it, what I can do would have gone.
I think that's a valuable lesson in business as well, isn't it? When you're looking at your customers, so often we can give them what we think they need, but we don't go beyond it. We don't listen. We don't listen to what they actually need. And, you know, the same with you there. I mean, we're running out of time, Vicky, and there's so much I want to ask you. We'll have to do a part two.
We will.
You're a finalist for the Woman Who Achieves Awards. You won your SBS Theoprophytus Award
Yeah.
this year. You're absolutely flying. I'd like to ask you just one final question before, you know, this has been full of mic drop moments. You've literally been dropped as well. But one thing I'd like to ask you, do you think your determination comes from your disability, or do you think it comes from the lessons you learnt from your parents and the strength they gave you?
I think it's both.
Yeah.
My parents never let me give up. If I say I'm tired, I don't want to do my walking practice, my mum and my dad say, yeah, we're tired, but we still got to do it. And even the husband, he's the same. He'll push me because they know I can do it.
Yeah.
And because I broke my head, that put me back in the system. It got me the right stuff that I need, got me a walking frame that I need, and my walking's come on so much.
Everything happens for a reason.
So
I was ready to drop you.
if I hadn't been made redundant, I wouldn't have been going to my mum and dad at that time of day. Steve wouldn't have dropped me head. I wouldn't have got back in the NHS system and got the help that I need.
Yeah. It just
So
goes to show, doesn't it?
just, you've got to be determined and know what you want and go out and get it.
Love that. I always ask my guests before they go, and I don't want to let you go, Vicky, but I've got to. I always ask my guests to share a mic drop moment, a piece of advice, a top tip, or piece of wisdom they'd like to share with the audience. What would yours be?
At the moment, mine would be, if you're told you can't do it, look for ways around it. If something happens and you think it's a bad thing, yeah, it may be a bad thing, but look at it another way. See what else you can do to make it work.
Fantastic piece
It's
of
not
advice.
always the end.
Yeah, great piece of advice there, great piece of wisdom, a fantastic mic drop moment to finish on. I've been chatting today to Vicki Wilson, for Vicky the Admin Fairy. Thank you, Vicky.
Thank you.